So it's been about 6 months. It's time again for the good old witchcraft and Wicca label debate. So stick around. So the reason why I decided to make this video is it seems like it kind of goes around in cycles where people talk about the differences between Wicca and witchcraft, which is fine. I completely understand. I completely sympathize with people who practice a form of witchcraft that is separate from Wicca. I get it. I completely understand, and so I try to change my terminology. And people kind of, I don't know, maybe somebody goes around, talking about Wicca and witchcraft, and then somebody corrects them and says, well, not all witches practice Wicca, and then they're like, well, yeah, but Wicca's witchcraft, and then they have to explain it to them, and then that kind of turns into a video, and next thing you know, everybody's doing a video on it. So I'm going to kind of flip it around a little bit and put the onus on you, because basically, I'm going to make myself sound old here, but my generation and a lot of other people who even came before me call themselves witches. And they practice what we now know today as Wicca. But you will see in all kinds of books written before 1990 that use the term witch. A Witch's Bible Complete, Buckland's Big Book of Witchcraft, an ABC of Witchcraft, Witchcraft Today, Witchcraft for Tomorrow, Witchcraft Today. So all of these books are termed Wicca practices. But people who are what we call Wicca today, which is kind of like one of these words that just kind of like, it's just been overused and overused, are witches. And I consider myself to be a witch. I am specifically a Gardnerian witch. So when especially people come into the community, they may not understand the differences. And rather than jump down their throat and give them a whole long history of the whole thing, it's easier to just say, well, yes, but there are witches who don't practice Wicca. So yes, all Wiccans are witches, but not all witches are Wiccans. And that's a great little quick rhyme. But you are still going to have people who interchange the two words. Let it go. Not a big deal. People will figure it out. They'll find out on their own. So we don't have to get our panties all up in a wedge and start freaking out and screaming at them and telling them the whole history of everything and correct them and say, not all witches are wicked, not all witches. We don't need to do that. It's just not worth it. There are people who practice paganism and they're not witches. There are people who practice paganism and they're not Wiccans. We need to understand this, and I think a lot of people do understand that. There's a whole wide range of what would be considered paganism that is not Wicca. And in my own personal opinion, I think that this is more important than the whole witchcraft Wicca thing. A lot of people don't understand that you can be a pagan and you don't have to be a Wiccan, or even a witch for that matter. So, in my personal opinion, I think that that is more important. And I've heard people talk about there are Wiccans out there who don't practice magic, then they're pagans. If you're a Wiccan, or you're calling yourself a Wiccan, and you don't practice magic or witchcraft, then you're a pagan. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that that's what you are. If you are a chef who doesn't cook, you're not a chef. If you're an auto mechanic who doesn't fix cars, you're not an auto mechanic. It's pretty basic. If you don't actually do this, there's no reason to call yourself that. It's pretty easy. Thank you so much, and blessed be. Or even a witch for that matter. So, in my personal opinion, I think that that is more important. And I've heard people talk about there are Wiccans out there who don't practice magic. then they're pagans. If you're a Wiccan, or you're calling yourself a Wiccan, and you don't practice magic or witchcraft, then you're a pagan. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that that's what you are. If you are a chef who doesn't cook,